I would like to say good evening. And this is Felicia Dixon. I'm here again. Want to update you on a conversation I had with my daughter, Iana Newman, who's at Havenwyck Hospital in Auburn Hills, Michigan, which is a psychiatric hospital. Um, I talked to Iana. I think it was yesterday. I went out there to visit her, and I had a very disturbing conversation with her. And within itself, at first it started off as me being very disturbed about the staff, but now I'm more disturbed about the things that Iana is saying because me being 3 times older than she is, she's 13, me being 3 times older than her, I understand that you can say things. I'm more afraid of her relationship with God now more than anything. Anyway, I was talking to Yana, and I was trying to just tell her, not ask her. See, that's the part about being a parent. Being a parent is not about, it's okay for your children to have freedoms and choices, but as a parent, we must guide them along. And I wasn't asking, begging, but I'm telling Iana that you know, I don't know what you're thinking about, but you need to come home. And it's not no thing about. In other words, she wants me to come out there and visit her, but I'm trying to ask her what's going on with her logic on how is it that I'm supposed to come and visit you, but you're not even trying to come home. And I went on to tell her, I said, you realize you got a mother, you got a father, and this talking about in a black home. And most people out there listening, you know that that's very rare, far in between. That's very rare here in the year 2017, 2016, 2017. And I'm trying to explain to her, you got a sister. I said, you got a sister right now, been with you all her life, 7 years old. She needs you at home. And you have a brother who's almost a year old now. And Iana went on to tell me that, well, and I said, these people actually methodically trying to turn you against your family, especially your sisters and brothers. I said, once we're gone on as your parents, my dream was always was always for you all, your sisters and brothers, to be able to carry on our legacy, whatever the legacy that we put down. Well, they are not turning me against my brothers and sisters. I don't want to be around them anyway. I don't want to be around them anyway. I don't want to. I said, Iana, first of all, with me being an adult, I understand that they are making you say this just on the idea. I know who you are. These people only been knowing you 30 days. I've been knowing you 13 years. I know how you talk. I know who you are. And for you to say, well, they are not telling me, and in the meantime, they are turning you against your family because they are not encouraging anything between you and your family. Like in other words, if she was there saying she didn't want to come home, based on everything, I'm saying it's this if you're dealing with decent people, because I understand that the people that work at Havenwyck Hospital in Auburn here, Michigan, they are not decent people. I'm just saying if you're dealing with, that's what I'm trying to explain to her. Even if you didn't want to come home, a decent person gonna tell you, you got a mother and a father that care about you. You got sisters and brothers. In other words, they gonna be an extension of your parents. They not gonna be a person your parents call that looking for you. They hanging up the telephone. They arguing. They can't never come get you to the phone. They not even. In other words, they saying you confused. They not reminding you need to call home. They not trying to put you in. In other words, Iana. And then I had a conversation with her on last night, and I started telling her, I said, you gotta be careful. And people out there, what I'm speaking about. And I understand that he's under 13 years old, but I also understand that God is no respectable. See, when a lot of people hear that God is no respectable, the first thing come to their mind is race. No, it's not. When they say God is no respectable, it's not just race. It's race, it's orientation, it's age, You know, in other words, if you 13 years old and you are defiling God, it's a possibility that God might take you to task, especially when you're not doing right. And I'm just trying my best to try to explain to Iyanla one thing you don't want to do. You know, you are already what you call rebelling against us as your parents for whatever reason, because the only thing we ever tried to do was to bring you up in a loving Christian home with two parents, and no one is perfect. That's all we ever tried to do. But now you're saying that now since you've been out here 30 days, you saying bump God. That's a very powerful thing. And I'm just trying to, and the people in Auburn Hills, Michigan, all the people, all the staff that she's dealing with are Caucasian white people. And since she been out there, she's against her daddy, she's against her mother, she's against her sister, she's against her brother, and she's against God now. Now she talking about bump God. And that's very scary to me. That's very, very scary to me. And I tried my best to try to tell her, you know, your parents, you know, we your parents. We understand we've been 13, we've been teenagers, we understand. But see, when you start treading on the line of messing with God, when you start, and you really treading on the lines of messing with God when you rebelling against us. But just the whole idea, you in the condition that you are in, and you can say, well, a person can say, well, like you said, God judges people. He do judge people according to their knowledge. But I know for a fact that Iyanla knowledge is broader than that. And I know for a fact that Iyanla could possibly be charged by God for what she's doing, because she's saying, I know a lot of people that, what you say, that have all kinds of problems. You know the first thing they do, even if they hypocritical, even if they don't have good sense, the first thing they do is what? Jesus. Jesus, Jesus. That's in the black community. I call on the name of Jesus. It's very rare you catch a black person that would say bump God, and that's very scary. She been out here, and I want everybody to listen closer to what I'm saying. She been out here with Caucasian people for over 30 days, and she's saying bump her daddy, bump her mama, bump her sister, bump her brother. Now she's saying bump God, and then and then they are trying to help her. um, they're trying. We also had a conversation yesterday about, she's trying to tell me that God didn't know what He was doing. She really a boy. I said, girl, I was there when I had a sonogram. That was a girl. When I gave birth to you, May the 17th, 2003, I gave birth to a girl. I'm not, in other words, what the lines you treading on, that thing about you call yourself too much, you mad with God. You mad with the wrong person, because that's one fight you're going to lose. Your arms are too short to box with God. Don't get around just because you sitting there. White people are not God. They are not God. There's no sense in playing. That's just like me. I talk to Caucasian people. I vote for white people, but I don't vote for them as no spiritual advisor. No, I don't look to them for spiritual advising. I think some white people do have good intentions. I see one white guy on TV from time to time, Dr. Hager and his son. I think some of them, mean well, do good. Some of them I do try to take a look at, but I'm just talking about when you deal with white people. I'm talking about these white people at a low level. See, she probably don't understand there's different levels of Caucasians. Like them people she dealing with out there, those are low level Caucasians. They don't have anything to do uh, with nothing in society but destroy. Absolutely destroying. The Caucasian people that's really what you say in control. They had to go behind the scenes in order to get Trump elected, because this world was not fixing to keep functioning based on homosexuality. And so, I just wanted to just basically update everybody, let everybody know what's going on. The doctor out there, he's Dr. Malak, and she's trying to say, well, oh, and then she told us today, said, well, I was trying to tell her, I said, Iyanla, that medication you on, these people, this is why these people rule against us in court. They are actually trying to transform your mind. That's why we fought so hard pertaining to this medication. And I said, now, well, and she had enough nerve to tell us this morning. She said, well, and we was trying to tell her, these people not looking out for your best interest. She said, oh, they looking out for my best interest. I mean, this is a whole nother person. A whole nother person. And I'm just asking the public if it's any way, if it's some way, somehow, you can donate to the GoFundMe account. I just pray that God, I know that God controls the hearts and the minds of people. I pray that God control your mind and your heart some way and somehow to donate to this legal fund so we can retain a lawyer. We have found a lawyer, but you know, he just can't work for free. And that's just life. That's with any career, any field. People just can't work for free. And everybody, what's so troublesome to me here is everybody here in the state of Michigan is familiar, hate Havenwyck Hospital. People, professional doctors don't even send their patients that way anymore. They say they just have had, they don't, you know, one doctor I communicated with do not know why those people are still open. And when I explain to them, when I explain to people about people contact me, I explain to them my problem. They said people have had the same similar problem. I don't know what is going on with these places on why they are, you know, why they try to get into a person's mind and interrupt. And then people say they have taken a people to the hospital. Say when the children get out of the hospital, say they be worse. So the child go in for something minor, like attempted suicide. You know, thinking you got some professionals there and they're gonna try to help your child feel better, gonna try to coincide with your value system, try to get the child to a certain point. People told me said the child is worse than this. All this one lady said all her child do is sit up all day long telling me I want to kill myself. And she said he wasn't saying that before he left home. And then on top of that, she said that when he just did it one day, just attempted suicide. And when he got back home from Havenwyck, they had to program his mind. So this boy is in a worse predicament. She got to watch him 24/7, making sure. And she said during the time she had to fight to get him out of there. She had to fight to get her child out of there. And she said that she said it's sad. It's just sad the condition of her son now, how they just have just tore his life. And this I ain't talking about no one or two people. I'm talking about people that's way up. I'm talking about doctors, lawyers. I don't even want to name no more profession. These people told me that an ethical person would even send no child over to Havenwyck. I didn't even know anything about Havenwyck Hospital. I didn't even know my daughter had issues like that. I didn't know that I would even ever need a situation like that. I didn't know anything, and these people just referred us out. We waiting on the bed, pretending like it's gonna take a while to get a bed, and took her over here. And then when it's time to discharge her, this is when they started. Oh, was she saying that when she go home, she gonna commit suicide? You know, and this started. She's supposed to be there 5 to 7 days. It was time to get her out. When it was time to get her out, then they said 3 to 5 more days. Then after 3 days, we called, and then they said 5. I said, oh no. And then that's when they said, oh, well, she didn't start saying she's suicidal. And it's just a bad situation. So